Hey everybody, welcome back to Goodale Farm. I'm Peter. So today, update video on how things are going with the chicken coop. I made a little bit of progress, but it's slow going. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. All right, so last we had left it, I had the coop installed and delivered. I had the trench dug around the perimeter of the coop with some of the posts and the support brackets. So the need now is to put the fencing into the trench, staple it to this rail, and then backfill it. So the good news is I've done that on 3 of the sides. So I left this one side. We'll go through that today. But you can see this goes down, a good foot, sometimes maybe 2, and then it actually comes out this way a little bit, and then I backfilled it with the dirt. Same thing on this side over here. You can still see it's a little rough. I did this one yesterday, so here I just have to grade and backfill this back portion. And on this side, I took this the rails off the fence here so I could get in here with the tractor. So I got to push some of this dirt. And then on the third side near the barn, same type of thing. Had it set up and just have to grade that a little bit with my landscape rake. I also ran some power. It's not live right now, but I got power going in underground, and I have it coming up through this kind of makeshift conduit, but I got a box on the inside for power. With every project, there's always lessons to be learned, so on this one here, for those of you who might be doing this at some point, what you want is the trench to be certainly in the center where the poles are, but then all this dirt on this side needs to be scooped away, because when I lay the fence down, what I do is I tack it into this rail here, bring the hardware cloth or fence down, and then I push it in with my feet so that it's tucked in, and then the rest of it kind of leans forward. So having this cleared away below grade is really key, because then it will kind of flap over, and then I can put the dirt over. So that's what I ended up doing here, is scooping the dirt away with the backhoe. I'll be doing that a little bit over here. You scoop the dirt away, put the hardware cloth up, tuck it down, and while it's tucked down, take some dirt and put it in so it keeps it down, and then flap it over and then put the dirt back over. Seems straightforward, but worth a tip. I'm not the littlest guy there is out there, but let's face it, I'm not the biggest either. Whenever I'm using this backhoe, it's like I think they designed that for like a 10-year-old schoolboy. It's impossible to get your body in there and actually navigate. I feel like I'm sitting in one of those grade school chairs. When you go to visit your kids in grade school and you have nothing to sit in but one of those chairs. I guess it's better than doing it by hand, and this is a compact, what they call a compact tractor. I guess if you had a bigger piece of equipment, it would be more suitable. But all right, let's continue on. All right, here's what we got. Broke away the surface of this outside trench, so that should be good to go. I just need to take a measurement from yay to they, and cut the hardware cloth, which is a pain in the butt. Somewhere I have some tin snips, but I've been using shears that ultimately you got to cut each one of those individual wires all the way across. And when you're done with that, man, the wrist can use a good rest. All right, let's get at it. All right, with the length cut, the other tip I like to do is create a bend in the wire, somewhere around midway, or like in this case here, I probably have 2.5, 3 feet against the wall, and it will come out the other, say 1.5 or 2 feet. So probably makes sense to kind of hit the bend kind of in the middle. This way, when I go to install it up here, there's a natural bend, because without that natural bend, it's very difficult to handle this length of wire and try to negotiate it with the dirt, etc. I'll take a little pause for a moment. I decided to get a pneumatic, air pressure staple gun for this job. It takes a 18 gauge, what's called a narrow crown. So it's a pretty narrow staple to actually put this wire up. If you've ever tried to hammer in a staple and at the same time handle a piece of hardware cloth or fence, it's clearly something you need 3 or 4 hands to do. So this was, I don't know, $100, somewhere in that neighborhood. Definitely well worth the money for this job. But a little lesson I learned in the domain of electricity. So here's my air compressor that you need to run that staple gun. And the air compressor works on electricity. Now, I do have electricity in the barn, so I figure I'll run an extension cord from the barn here to run the air compressor. Well, apparently this air compressor requires so much juice that by the time the electricity reaches this, it's not enough to actually have this going. So this air compressor would trip every minute or so and then just stop running because there was not enough juice coming into it from an electricity standpoint. And I guess that would make sense. I mean, here's the compressor. I had to run an extension cord all the way over into the barn here. And I have a heavy duty extension cord too, so I was using that one also. The power from the barn goes underground into my garage that has a breaker panel. That breaker panel is fed by electricity that goes underground into my house, into the basement. From there, it goes to the street. So somewhere along the line, I don't want to say there's a leak, but electricity loses its power as it has to travel from the main source. In this case, the main source, I would say, is my breaker panel, where it gets the breaker panel in the house, where it gets the full street power. From there, it gets reduced all the way to the point of using your piece of equipment outside. And trust me, when that happened, I was not a happy camper. However, I did think of a solution. It's one that I've always had in my back pocket. And that's a portable generator. So I do happen to have a portable generator in my garage. So I take this out, fire this puppy up, plug the air compressor into it. Everybody's happy. Just, you have double the noise of equipment running, but it's only temporary. But the good news is it works. And for those that are thinking about other applications, this is excellent, because let's say I needed to do work way out there or way down there, and I was having to use a piece of power equipment. I'm not going to run an extension cord or whatever. I can easily take my portable generator, hook it up to the tractor, put it in the bucket. I could haul this anywhere, fire it up, plug in anything I needed to. All right, here's what we got. Got the top stapled all along. Now, what happens is things aren't perfect. So what I start on one end and I try to keep it level to the wood. But then on occasion, you create some slack. So at which point, like right here, I think. You just kind of fold it over, you know, you hit it in with your fist or whatever, and then just staple it tight. And it goes all the way down. Now this is going to be the doorway here, so I'll cut and then lay it into the dirt, because I'll have the door there that will be secure. So now I'm just going to tuck it in with my feet, tuck it in with a tool. It's kind of difficult sometimes because if you use like a rake, the tongs might get caught in there, but you tuck that in, throw some of these big clumps of dirt in there, and then backfill it. All right, thank goodness for the tractor and the bucket. So I was able to push the majority of the dirt and the grass from the excavation up against it. Was also able to go inside here and break free some of this, so I'll be able to rake it forward. So now it's just a matter of fine tuning, I guess, with the hand shovel, hand rake, get this situated, and move on to the next step. Okay, so with the perimeter all fenced in, you know, with the exception of the door, I'm going to call this phase 1 of the surround. You know, I think phase 2 is going to go up. You know, the hardware cloth is 4 feet. So you figure you go up another 1, maybe 2 high. And then, you know, it might have to be 3 on this high end. And then you got to start thinking about the roof structure. But for now, I'm pretty happy to have this phase done. All right, everybody, I'm going to call it quits for today, at least for the video. It's Sunday. I was out here starting early. I have no idea what time it is, but I'm starving. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in. Keep watching for additional updates. And until next time, hope you're having a great day.